Today is Thursday, March 13, 2025. This is the 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline. 45 minutes of the most recent news reporting about Liberia and the rest of our one world. I'm Lee Monjue presenting. In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai underscores the urgent need for more job opportunities for Liberian youth, says such move will address the troubling gap in the job market. Former contractors of Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services demand immediate settlement of unpaid salaries, accuse authorities of allegations of alleged refusal to listen to their concerns. Mountain of waste takes over the main street of Douala Market as marketers express frustration over poor waste management. Baltimore River City Corporation will have a report. And away from Liberia, Western African leaders have announced that they will pull their troops out of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where they have been helping the government to fight rebel forces. Details of these plus much more are all packaged, but first, Aloysius Chea and the news bulletin. Good evening, Aloysius.
Waving League, waving Liberians. President Joseph Boakai has urged officials of government to create job opportunities for Liberians across the country. The president, during his second cabinet meeting, said failure to provide jobs for the young generation will lead to severe social consequences, stressing that job creation remains a top priority for his government. According to him, the provision of jobs will end the numerous challenges experienced across the country. He said lack of opportunities for youth is a direct threat to social stability and development in Liberia. According to him, the lack of jobs for the youth reveals a troubling gap between the education system and the job market, where young graduates are left without the means to apply their skills. The Liberian leader at the same time said his administration is actively speeding up negotiation and efforts to create employment opportunities for Liberian youth. The president called on his government officials to prioritize urgent action in finding solutions that will lead to economic stability and provide young people the opportunities they deserve. The former mapping assistants at the Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services have expressed concerns over unpaid salaries owed them by wages. Speaking to reporters on Thursday, the aggrieved assistants stressed that they were hired as contractors, tasked with gathering data used to interpret Liberia demography. They lamented that despite their hard work, they are yet to receive their payments, describing the situation as unfair. One of the aggrieved members, Mark Camarade, explained that despite several attempts made to resolve the issue, authorities alleges have refused to cooperate. Following his suspension by the majority bloc of the House of Representatives, a local businesswoman has warned the Unity Party government to desist from verbal and physical attacks on Monjue County District 10 Representative Yeke Koduba. Recently, the majority bloc led by Representative Richard Kuhn suspended Monjue County District 10 lawmaker Yeke Koduba for 30 days, citing continuous absence from duty. But speaking to the station, Maurito Vanning described Representative Yeke Koduba as a people-centered leader who champions the cause of the ordinary Liberians. She warned the Boakai administration to forget Representative Yeke Koduba and focus on improving the lives of Liberians through job opportunities and market women empowerment loans. Ma Orita Vanning, who sells in the Saturday market in St. Paul's Bridge, noted that the market will continue to support the District 10 lawmaker as long as he continues to seek their interests and expose corrupt government officials who undermine development. Former National Public Health Institute of Liberia Director General and lay leader of the Liberia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church has described those leaving the church as self-seeking and greedy people pursuing their personal interests. For nearly a year, the United Methodist Church in Liberia has been divided over same-sex marriage issue, with one group of people breaking away to join the newly established Global Methodist Church. Speaking on radio show Thursday, Dr. Tobo Yinswa accused members who have parted ways with the United Methodist Church to join the Global Methodist Church of seeking their personal interests rather than speaking the truth on the ongoing saga. He said, though they claimed not to be part of the UMC, The Global Methodist Church members continue to spread what he termed as disinformation and misinformation about homosexuality in the church. According to him, the laws of Liberia do not support same sex marriage, and therefore, the United Methodist Church in Liberia will not accept and promote homosexuality. Commenting on the UMC properties, the lay leader of the First United Methodist Church in Monrovia, Medina Wisa, disclosed that a magistrate at the magisterial court has ruled in favor of the Liberia Annual Conference against the Global Methodist Church, following operative measure taken by the legal team of the UMC. The National Customs Brokers Association of Liberia Thursday hosted its 18th annual convention held at its national headquarters in Monrovia. The 18th convention of the National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia is being held under the theme Border Divides. Speaking at the start of the convention, Reverend Charles Diggs, the guest, the current administrative pastor of the Providence Baptist Church, described custom brokers as the invisible hands that are guarding the custom system through the collection of trade. He, however, applauded the management of the association for their tireless efforts in ensuring the smooth operation of trade goods through various ports. He urged the association to focus on trade laws, documentation, and logistics during operations to avoid what he described as internal bureaucracy. Meanwhile, the association's president, James Hinney, urged members of the association and partners for the level of professionalism over the past years. He cautioned his members to at all times remain professional and respect the ethics that govern the association. The National Customs Brokers Association of Liberia was enacted in 1994 as a model organization for all individuals or firms and businesses who are engaged in customs clearing and freight forwarding in Liberia. The Student Unification Party has strongly condemned the declining state of sports in Liberia, accusing Liberia Football Association President Mustafa Rajid of being responsible for what it described as the stagnation of Liberian football. Speaking to reporters Thursday, Sub Vice President for Propaganda Eddie Yancey argued that under Rajid's leadership, the country's sports culture continues to suffer due to incompetence and constitutional violations. Yancey further questioned Rajid's nationality as LFA president, citing Chapter 21, Article 45.2 of the LFA statutes, which mandates that the president, vice presidents, and executive committee members must be Liberian citizens either by birth or naturalization. He alleged that Raji was born to a Nigerian father and is yet to provide proof to his Liberian citizenship. Yase compared Raji's case with the former chairman of the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, Dubusi Nwabudiki, who was exposed for forging nationality documents. The party vowed to mobilize citizens to demand radical reforms within the LFA and full adherence to Liberia laws. At least two cases have been reported dead in a tragic fire incident that erupted in Lover Street community, Pinsville. The two kids who died in a fire incident at the Teen Liberia Safe Orphanage Home Thursday afternoon match are yet to be identified. Eyewitnesses said cause of the fire outbreak is yet to be established, but attributed it to electrical fault. The eyewitnesses expressed frustration over such outbreak, describing the death of the two kids as troubling. They disclosed that the kids have been living in the orphanage home for over a long period prior to their demise. However, the Liberia National Fire Service has since made some interventions pending report on the cause of the fire. The National Elections Commission has announced that the candidate nomination exercise for the senatorial by-election in Nima County will officially end on Friday, March 14, 2025. In a release, the NDC noted that the accreditation exercise for the party agents, local and international observers, and the media will also end on Friday, March 14, 2025. The release called on all chairpersons and secretaries or authorized executive committee members of political parties to pick up their nomination packages for aspirants contesting the election. The NEC recalled that the nomination and accreditation exercises are in line with its key dates released for the Nima County senatorial by-election scheduled for April 22, 2025. Meanwhile, the National Elections Commission has warned aspirants and political parties that there will be no extension of the process. The African Theology Institute has commenced a 3 day spiritual leadership conference at the Prophetess Baptist Church in Monrovia. Speaking at the opening of the conference, Reverend Alfred Walcott said the conference is intended to provide spiritual leadership and growth to bishops, pastors, church leaders, and theologians in Africa. The conference, which is being held under the theme Theological Foundation of Sustainable Church Growth and Effective Pastoral Leadership, is expected to climax on Saturday, March 15, 2025. Reverend Alfred Walcott added that the launch of the African Theology Institute will reduce the high level of untrained pastors, bishops, and theologians in Africa. The director of the Bessie Stockton Center for Black Church Studies, Princeton Theological Seminary, Dr. David Latimer, said the conference is a boost to the American theologians. He added they recognize Liberia as a country that holds the free slave and as a member of the American Organization Society. Well, Lee, that's the latest in the news. Bulletin is back to you for continuation.
Aloysius Chea and a full bulletin of news from the news center. He returns with our foreign development. One of the big stories we are following tonight, member mountains of waste takes over the main street of Douala Market as market women express frustration over poor waste management of the Monrovia City Corporation. With that, we take our first development. President Joseph Boakai has urged officials of government to create jobs opportunities for Liberians across the country. The president, during his second cabinet meeting, said failure to provide jobs for the young generation who lead to severe social consequences, stressing that job creation remains a top priority of his government. According to him, the provision of jobs will end the numerous challenges experienced across the country.
So these are critical issues. Besides that, we have to pay attention to youth issues also. Maybe some people may not understand. Very tough on the youth. We had a coup, we had a war. A lot of young people have gone to school, they graduated, they get one degree, they get another one, expecting to get a job. They don't have jobs. That's the reason we talk about speeding up all of these negotiations for investment. If we don't do that, we have a backlog of people who are without jobs, people in the streets. Some of them have skills, they can't put them to use. So we need to create some jobs. People need to be employed. If they're not employed, you and I are in trouble because they'll be at our doors, our offices. For example, the youth program that the SOEs contributed to, they just sent up an announcement, more than 15,000 people to show you the gravity of the situation. And sometimes we say we don't have this, we don't have that, but sometimes we can be penny wise and pound foolish because if we don't take care of some urgent matters soon, we're on to more difficult. So these negotiations, we want to get the best, but also they will not be, we're gone a year, 3 months. We have to land on something to do. We have to get jobs. The areas we have that are really opportunities in the agriculture sector, in the mining sector, and those are critical areas. Also, you have to say it in cabinet, special interest. I think our interest should be about this country, first and foremost, no matter who you relate to, because you can solve individual problems. The country problem is not solved. You're not still. You can talk about planning, your this, your that. If something disrupts here, it will interfere with all of it. So we have to learn to take care of issues that are national.
The Liberian leader at the same time said his administration is actively speeding up negotiations in effort to create employment opportunities for Liberian youth. The president called on his government officials to prioritize urgent action in finding solutions that will lead to economic stability and provide young people the opportunities they deserve.
Be able to give us a sense of direction and working towards coordination and also a commitment to reposition this country for development. We all know the difficulties. People are not compensated adequately, but it won't come about by not doing the right thing because if we do the right thing, the resources will be available and we can meet the needs. We have to position the country. And that's the job we all around here have to do. So I want to thank you all for what you're doing so far, but we need to redouble our efforts, especially with the global situation now. We made a report on the effect of the different decisions that have been taken. The only things that we can control are the ones that we are responsible for. You can't control the decisions of the people making us. We can work towards how we're going to improve our country. And I hope that's the determination that we have. So having said that, we're going to new business, which will be introduced by the Director General of the Cabinet. Thank you very much.
Liberian President Joseph Boakai, former mapping assistant at the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, have expressed concern over unpaid salaries owed them by the institution. Speaking to reporters Thursday, the aggrieved assistant said they were hired as contractors tasked with gathering data used to interpret Liberia demography. One of the aggrieved members, Mark Kamara, explained that despite several attempts made to resolve the issue, authorities of villages have refused to cooperate.
Ill treated, and we've come to speak to the public and to stakeholders and to later the president of the republic to hear our cry, because Nigeria has unfairly treated us in the process, and we have produced data in the country that the institution is now using to interpret the demography of Liberia. And hard work has been put into the process. Some of our colleagues by then even passed off during the process. And we've worked tirelessly in this country, and at this junction, this is indebted to us, and we feel that this is unfair. We've gone through the legal processes. This case has been given fair due processes. We started off when we felt we were ill-treated. We took our matter to by then the General Director of Missions, Professor Francis Ray. He looked in the matter on that fateful day. I can remember in his office, he called us and we discussed the issue, and he said he would get back to us. But back and forth. So the only remedy for us as aggrieved mappers by then was to take it to the law. Because as civil citizens in Liberia, this is the only route we can use. So we took the matter to the law. We started the process to Labor Ministry at the ministerial complex, where we went and we took up a lawyer and we went. We started the process. The section at the Labor Ministry called this several occasions for a conference and dialogue.
Mark Kamara is an aggrieved member of former mapping assistant at the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Service. Mountain of waste takes over the most famous Douala market, thereby causing huge traffic in the area. Here is a report. Mountain of waste in the most famous Douala market in District 16 is not only posing serious threat to the survivability and livelihood of citizens, but also causing huge traffic congestion. The alleged refusal of the Monjue City Corporation, headed by the Mayor John Chea, to collect waste from various collection sites has resulted to half of the main street being occupied by garbage. Marketers have complained that the huge stockpile of garbage in the market has exposed them to several diseases, including cholera and diarrhea. They stated that despite their commitment to pay $50 Liberian, the Liberia Marketing Association and the Monjue City Corporation have reneged on their sole responsibility to ensure a clean and safe environment for trade. The market women said the situation continued to drive away potential customers. An elderly disenchanted market woman, only identified as Man Water, expressed deep frustration over the poor waste management affairs by the Monjue City Corporation. Mawata described the business environment under the Bwaka Counts administration as disappointing.
But we had done with they did that, they say, you don't want to say, yeah, you go sing at your home. But they want to can give to us. You don't want to say, yeah, you go sing at your home. They have looking all now. And we are there, you don't say, yeah, no place there for us to go say, look at our children. They want to be here, that look at it, don't want people that can show you for around us. They don't want to be looking now, that 900 or 800.
Douala Market is one of the most important economic zones in Liberia. The market serves as a critical food hub, linking agricultural activities in outward counties, including Bomi and Nimak. It is noted for its high population and structural density. Despite the frustration for marketers, the Monjue City Corporation is yet to make the necessary move to collect waste from various collection sites in the market. Reporting for Kear Newsline, I'm Lee Monjue. The National Custom Breakers Association of Liberia on today hosted its 18th annual convention held at its national headquarters in Monrovia. Speaking at the start of the convention, Reverend Charles Dix, the guest of the current administrative pastor of the Providence Baptist Church, described custom breakers as the invisible hands that are guarding the custom system through the collection of trade. He urged the association to focus on trade laws, documentation, and logistics during operations to avoid what he described as internal bureaucracy.
Custom brokers are the invisible hands guiding businesses, government, and consumers through the complexity of trade in ensuring that goods, services, and economic opportunities flow smoothly. Yet, without effective management, these divisions can lead to delays, increased costs, and inefficiency in trade. This is where custom brokers step in as the ultimate connectors. They serve as intermediary between businesses and government, ensuring compliance with custom regulations while promoting the smooth movement of goods. Their expertise in tariffs, trade laws, documentation, and logistics allow businesses to focus on their core operation without getting entangled in bureaucracy red tape. Custom brokers simplify complex regulations.
Meanwhile, the association's president, James Yenin, urged members of the association and partners for the level of professionalism over the years. He cautioned his members to at all times remain professional and respect the ethics that govern the association.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude and sincere appreciation to each of you, especially our special invitees and members from other voters for honoring us with your presence at our 18th National Convention. For us, custom brokers, March holds special significance as it marks the founding of the National Custom Brokers Association of Liberia. This month not only celebrates our enduring bond crossed over the years in facilitating trade across border borders, but also signals the beginning of our fiscal year. At the same time, doing gatherings such as this, it is customary for us to reflect on our journey, where we have come from, where we are currently standing, where we need to take our entire association. According to our laws and constitution, specifically Article 5, Section 1B, it states that the General Assembly shall meet in the month of March of each year for the purpose of establishing and approving general policy, budget, adoption of report, and the President should give the annual report to be accepted and approved by the General Assembly. Therefore, I stand before you today to fulfill this constitutional mandate on behalf of my fellow executive. We will also present some proposals of parliamentary and constitutional amendments for your considerations. Fellow members, we cannot thank you enough for the incredible support we've received over the past year since our inauguration in April. Your package has been unprecedented.
Following his suspension by the majority bloc of the House of Representatives, a local businesswoman has warned the Unity Party government to desist from verbal and physical attacks on Mosurado County District 10 Representative Yeke Koruba. Speaking to the station, Ma Oritovani described Representative Koruba a people center leader who champions the cause of ordinary Liberians. She warned the Bouaka Khan's administration to forget about Representative Koruba and focus on improving the lives of Liberians through job opportunities and market women empowerment loans.
Tell Joseph Bouaka to forget about Yeke Koruba.
What did Bouaka do? Yeke Koruba?
Bouaka no was here when he made promise to Yeke Koruba that he was taking leave. So Yeke Koruba na happy to run a campaign. When you run a campaign, anything Yeke Koruba say will be Yeke Koruba say my name a campaign will come in wrong for you. You not here to go full of that people. So the thing that you say you will do it, you say Yeke Koruba say yes, you will do it. And now Yeke Koruba won't be there. Yeke Koruba won't be there. He be there Yeke Koruba. So when Yeke Koruba pass you are not like the thing that you talk. You forsake yourself when Yeke Koruba pass you. But when Yeke Koruba pass you, you want to know what life is say Yeke Koruba. So to them now, and we do who they instead of Yeke Koruba for that, and I'm going to walk for Yeke Koruba there. You know when I move to do all that, you move to all the way to go just to go for Yeke Koruba.
You love to hear you go for Yeke?
Yes.
For who Bene?
Because Yeke Koruba and the one that is talking for him is. So you are telling to this Yeke Koruba because a budget.
But when Yeke can be talking to the president, it's not good thing.
Okay, anything good for power, good for Joe. Yes. They're happy.
Ma Oritovani is a local businesswoman there speaking with Jefferson Weah and James Walkway of our staff. You are listening to the Thursday, March 13, 2025, 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline. There's been the joint effort of the News and Current Affairs Department here at Kear Communications Network. I'm Lee Monjue in the presenters here. Big stories top in the news tonight. President Joseph Bouaka underscores the urgent need for more job opportunities for Liberian youth, says such move will address the troubling gap in the job market. Former contractors of Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services demand immediate settlement of unpaid salaries, accuse authorities of legacies of alleged refusal to listen to their concerns. Mountain of waste takes over the main street of Douala Market as market women express frustration over poor waste management by the Monrovia City Corporation. And in foreign news of African leaders have announced they will pull out their troops from Western Democratic Republic of Congo, where they have been helping the government fight rebel forces. We'll take another break to be back with more development. Joining us up next is Fatoumata Barry and Sports Step Passion. Good evening, Fatoumata.
Good evening, Lee. Good evening, Liberia. The West African Football Union's representative to the African Club Association, Rodney Michael, wants Mustafa Raji appointed as CAF first vice president. The Sierra Leonean has urged CAF president Dr. Patrice Motsepe to appoint the Liberia Football Association president Mustafa Raji as CAF vice president. Michael, in a tweet, emphasized the need for more Anglophone representation in CAF's leadership, stating, quote, with the lobbying and campaigning intensifying for CAF vice president, taking into consideration the disregard of Anglophone countries in the FIFA Council election, I would recommend the Motsepe to appoint Liberia's Mustafa Raji as vice president. One, he cuts across very well. He highlighted Raji's role in youth football development at FIFA and CAF, noting that his leadership would reassure small nations of their place in African football governance. He averred that Liberia will represent the small nations well. A country of just a few million people, Mustafa Raji will be a strong reassurance to all small countries that their voices will be heard. They will be protected from the big boys. With Raji recently re-elected unopposed to the CAF Executive Committee, Michael's endorsement adds momentum to calls for his elevation to a higher leadership role. The Lone Star Under-17 national team is set to play their first international friendly on Friday, 14 March in Cairo, Egypt, against Tanzania Under-17. The team has been training since arriving in Egypt on Tuesday, 11 March, and will conclude their final session later this evening ahead of the encounter on tomorrow. It is good to note that Liberia is still in the process of building, with the team being barely 3 months old. They will face Tanzania and Egypt Under-17 AFCON squad that will participate in Morocco later this year. Away from Liberia, according to Catalonia Radio, it was Real Madrid president Florentino Perez that helped Barcelona to keep Dani Olmo and Pau Victor in La Liga amid their court case with RFEF and La Liga scheduled for April of this year. They explained that Perez called the president of the High Court for Sports, Jose Manuel Rodriguez Uribes, lobbying them to concede the injunction requested by Barcelona. And that is a version of events defended by La Liga president Javier Tebas and other executives in the competition. They are convinced that Perez's intervention was crucial in Barcelona being able to continue playing Olmo and Victor. It is also noted that Perez and Barcelona president Juan Laporta are in regular contact and maintain a cordial relationship. The Real Madrid chief had a hand in Laporta's return to the Barcelona presidency too, helping him to secure the bank guarantee necessary for his board to be sworn in back in 2021. The UEFA Champions League round of 16 concluded on the night, and the point of discussion has been Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid clash at Wanda Metropolitano, with the highlight being the cancellation of Julian Alvarez penalty. In the midst of the chaos, according to Marca, Atletico have spent all of Thursday morning requesting explanations from UEFA on the decision, asserting that there are no images which show the double touch clearly. Alvarez himself has told his family that he did not notice it at the time. Los Coloneros have even considered legal action. However, UEFA have moved to clarify the matter, releasing both the images that decision was based on, as well as an explanation in an official statement also carried by the Madrid-based outlet. Although minimal, the player made contact with the ball using his standing foot before kicking it, as shown in the attached video clip under the current rule, loss of the game law 14.1, and VAR had to call the referee, signaling that the goal should be disallowed, according to UEFA. The European governing body did note that they would discuss with the refereeing body whether the rule should be altered to accommodate situations where the double contract is accidental. Arsenal will take on Real Madrid in the quarterfinal. Paris Saint-Germain will take on Aston Villa. Barcelona will take on Borussia Dortmund, while Bayern Munich will take on Inter Milan. Monjue, that's the news from the Swiss desk.
Fatoumata Barry then spoke the passion of life in more development. Former National Public Health Institute of Liberia, Director General and lead leader of the Liberia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church, has described those leaving the church as self-seeking and greedy people pursuing their personal interests. Speaking on a radio talk show Thursday, Dr. Tobo Yenswat accused members who have parted ways with the United Methodist Church to join the Global Methodist Church of seeking their personal interests rather than speaking the truth on the ongoing saga.
People with their own parochial interests, greed, are lying on a piece of church that been in this country for 200 years. I'm coming there.
Are they United Methodists?
They were former United Methodists.
They
used to be United Methodists, but guess what? They used to be called United Methodists. They remain under the water in the shadows for 3-4 years, damaging the church just to take a simple decision of registering your own church that they just did February 14. January. They registered January 23, 2025, and launched February 14, 2025. when we were having our annual conference for church that been here for 200 years. So let me lay out with you. I want to hammer it down and double down on this. It's creeping in the UMC. The Christian community needs to come together. That's what kill people. Myth, disinformation, misinformation in this country during the Ebola crisis.
Also commenting on the United Methodist Church properties, the leader of the First United Methodist Church in Monrovia, Madina Wisa, disclosed that the magistrate of the magistrate court has ruled in favor of the Liberia annual conference against the Global United Methodist Church following a proactive measure taken by the legal team of the UMC.
Recently, we had some altercations at a few of our churches. So, taking proactive measure, conference leader and some United Methodist lawyers decided that let's take some proactive measures to go to the magisterial court where it starts from. And in one of those instances, they rank you. So it was second place. I mean, he's a very smart lawyer. He defended the other side and they lost. They lost. Yeah. The magistrate ruled in favor of the United Methodist. So now what happened? You saw that, you then saw Dr. Jerry Kula going there now to go take that famous nice picture for the optics to say, you know, the church has been the process of securing land to build church, to buy property, to own. And Dr. Charles Boyu at the annual conference, he asked, he said, who all here were here 100 years ago when these properties were given to us? Who were here?
First United Methodist Church in Monrovia leader Madina Wisa. The Student Unification Party has strongly condemned the declining state of sports in Liberia, accusing Liberia Football Association President Mustafa Raji of being responsible of what it described as the stagnation of Liberian football. Speaking to reporters Thursday, Vice Chair for Propaganda Eddie Yensi argued that under Raji's leadership, the country's sport culture continues to suffer due to incompetence and constitutional violations. Yensi questioned Raji's nationality as LFA president, citing Chapter 21, Article 45.2 of the LFA statutes, which mandate that president, vice president, and executive committee members must be Liberian citizens either by birth or naturalization.
Over the years, the party have witnessed the poor handling, the poor administrative affairs of the governing body of football in the Republic of Liberia. Under the Nigerian pastor, Mustafa Ashola Raji, a man who has deliberately refused to address the Liberian people of the citizenship and the nationality. So on that note, the Revolutionary Violence Unification Party has converged here to ask decisively Mustafa Raji, the Nigerian pastor, to clearly justify the nationality and citizenship as the constitution of the LFA dictates. Article 21, Chapter 45.2 of the LFA Constitution speaks of citizenship and nationality. And you must be a vice president, a president, or any executive member. You must be a Liberian, or you must be a nationalized Liberian. Somebody from Nigeria, you're nationalized yourself in Liberia. We do not have issue, but you justify your citizenship according to law. And that's why the party have come to respond to Mustafa Raji, though he is poorly handling the affairs of the forwarding body of the Republic of Liberia.
Campus-based Student Unification Party Vice Chair for Propaganda Eddie Yensi. The African Theology Institute has commenced a 3-day spiritual leadership conference at the Providence Baptist Church in Monrovia. Speaking at the opening of the conference, Reverend Alfred Walker said the conference is intended to provide spiritual leadership and growth to bishops, pastors, and church leaders in Africa. Reverend Alfred Walker added that the launch of the African Theological Institute will reduce the high level of untrained pastors, bishops, and theologians in Africa.
So you see, similar question came about. Today, everybody in Africa, specifically Liberia, has the freedom to just get up and start a church. But as this institute is launched, We hope to do it every year. And part of what we want to do is to make sure we educate our people around their faith so they get to understand that it's not everybody who says God or who is able to interpret just a passage, you call him pastor. Maybe some of the conversation that will come from this conference and going forward could be in the direction of us saying, hey, like Rwanda, maybe before you start a church, could you have, say, a full year of training in the theological seminary or Bible school, which will give you foundation in understanding how to lead as a flock or as a shepherd, the flock, how to lead your people as a leader, and not exploit them because you are considered pastor and people call you daddy, but to understand that you have a role.
Reverend Alfred Walker there speaking. At the juncture, we rejoin Fatoumata Barry with our foreign development.
Southern African leaders have announced they will pull their troops out of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where they have been helping the government fight rebel forces. The troops were sent 2 years ago to support the Congolese army fight the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels, which has seized control of large parts of mineral-rich Eastern DR Congo this year. At least 19 soldiers from the South Africa, Malawi, and Tanzania were killed when the M23 captured the region's biggest city, Goma, in January. Thousands of people have been killed during the fighting and hundreds of thousands left without shelter after fleeing their homes. There have been concerns the fighting could escalate to a wider regional conflict. The M23 has continued to gain ground in Eastern DR Congo and last month seized the region's second biggest city, Bukavu. South Africa's deployment was heavily criticized by the public and oppositions following the killing of its soldiers.
Well, listeners, on that foreign note, this I would like to draw down the curtains of today's Thursday, March 13, 2025, 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline. This has been the joint effort of the News and Current Affairs Department, yet a Kear Communications Network. Many thanks to all of our reporters, contributors, editors who helped in making this edition of the program a success. Many thanks to Aloysius Chea who brought for us a full bulletin of national news. Fatoumata Barry was here with post and at the same time brought out foreign development. Many thanks to Rufo Divan Brooks who sat at control and handled the technical aspect. James Walk will ensure our visibility goes beyond the studio. Before we take a leave, a relook of our headlines. President Joseph Boakai underscores the urgent need for more job opportunities for Liberian youth, says such move will address the troubling gap in the job market. Former contractors of Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services demand immediate settlement of unpaid salaries, accuse authorities of Lagos of alleged refusal to listen to their concerns. Mountain of waste takes over the main street in Douala Market as market women express frustration over poor waste management by the Monrovia City Corporation. We brought you a report. And away from Liberia, Southern African leaders have announced they will pull their troops out of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where they have been helping the government to fight rebel forces. Thanks for listening. I'm Lee Monjue, packaged and presented. Good night.